Our first guest tonight starred in one of the most iconic movies of all time, Ghostbusters. Now they're back in Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is in theaters November 19th. Let's take a look.
Guys? Whoa! Oh, it has a gunner seat? Go, go, go!
Please welcome to the show. I hope I'm saying their names right. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson. I was watching the film. I was telling you guys backstage. It was very emotional for me to watch the film. I can only imagine how emotional it was for you guys to get back together again.
Just like it felt like yesterday. It felt like we never let the packs off and never got out of the jumpsuits. Didn't it feel like it was just like we were military called back to service? It felt like that, you know,
Yeah.
we called from the reserves.
Right, exactly.
It was painful. It was painful is what it was. It was physically and emotionally painful. You forget how heavy it is to carry a small refrigerator on your back for hours and hours a day. And then they say, okay, guys, get down on the ground.
Yeah.
Cut. All right, stand up.
No.
And then get down on the ground again. That's what we did. I'm like,
Yeah.
we did this a long time ago. It's basically you're falling down on the ground and having to get up with this small refrigerator on your back.
It seems like the magic of movie making is they could have made a lighter refrigerator for your back.
They had rubber ones, but they don't, when
did.
they're on, it doesn't look like you're carrying the weight with the rubber ones.
Yeah.
So we always, because we're actors, we're committed. Yeah, put the heavy one on. It'll look more real, sure.
But they were better than the first.
Yeah, the first one weighed about 40-something pounds or something. Yeah. We used to have to wear it for like 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
So it sounds crazy, but like if you're a mother and you have a baby and you carry your baby, you know how that feels after a few months. Imagine that your child's born at 40 pounds.
Well,
I still don't think you're going to get a lot of sympathy from mothers on that, Bill, but they're like, I thought I had it bad till I heard about the Ghostbusters. So this was the sort of the first big budget film that you had ever done, Ernie. Did you have any sense of what you were getting into?
No, well, I did Space Hunter with Peter Strauss, Molly Ringwald, that Ivan Reitman produced. Never of anybody else. But the year before, but this was pretty amazing, pretty incredible. You know?
I was thinking back, like when I think about growing up in the suburbs and wanting to live in New York City, it's never like the way Woody Allen made it look beautiful. It was jokes by David Letterman about how garbage a city it was, and then Ghostbusters, where it was a city full of ghosts. And yet when I watched it, I was like, that's where I wanted to live. I mean, obviously New York was a huge part of this film, of the first one. Was exciting for you guys. I guess you'd been gone from SNL about 5 years to come back to the city and make it.
oh, sure. Well, you know, any time in New York City is exciting. I'd love New Yorkers, love the architecture. Not sure that I would ever really live here again full time, but we had a great time. It was wonderful because we would be shooting in civilian clothes and nobody would be really looking. And then we get on the packs and the uniforms running down the street and people would kind of go, are they exterminators? Are they? And then the Cadillac, we'd be going all over town in the Cadillac and it was hardly like, oh, that's just another emergency vehicle, I guess. You know, New Yorkers were so blasé about it. They weren't really impressed at all with us at the time.
It was a grand time to be in New York. We lived in New York for a long, long time. And to be able to be a true New Yorker and to drive and just completely ignore stoplights everywhere you went. And in that vehicle, we all looked so legit in the damn thing, you know, and we had the refrigerator on our back. So people just let you go. And police would kind of go, you know, what the hell?
But I was surprised because, you know, I think the movie, you watch it now and you assume that you were fully permitted and you had a key to the city, but you were kind of fly by night.
We had a key to the city, but they didn't know.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. They did not give you. You took the
No.
key to the city.
It was auxiliary kind of thing, volunteer kind of stuff, you know.
You shot in 30 Rock, and obviously you guys had worked here, Dan and Bill. But did you have?
We did not have a permit for the stuff we shot around here.
Really?
We just jumped out and we were like, "Hi, it's Dan and Bill. We're shooting. Nobody's gonna break it." And we just kept going.
Yeah, you can see the scenes on Fifth Avenue when we're figuring out the mortgage and how to buy the equipment and all that. And we're just walking there. And people, it's real people. We're walking there. And they were totally oblivious to the fact that it was a film unit. So what you're seeing is real people just on the street in New York. And we were stealing everything all over the place. Yeah.
Much like in the film, you were sort of the last Ghostbuster to join the team, and you were coming into a situation where the other guys knew each other. Did you feel welcome when you came on this set, Ernie?
Yeah, I felt like the neighbor who goes to a friend's house and they're grabbing all the food and you're trying to be polite at the table. And it's like, so yeah, I was welcome, but obviously, I got through. Harold would always say, Ernie, it's okay.
You referenced Harold Ramis, and who sadly passed away. He was the other Ghostbuster. I imagine it's impossible to go back to a film like this that you wrote with him, Dan, and not think of him.
Harold was a huge part, of course, of the first Ghostbusters and the second one because of his incredible intelligence, his great sense of humor, his frame of reference. He was a terrific co-writer and really a lead writer in it. Once I handed him that big, thick script, he just knew, yep, we can do this, this, and this, make this work this way. We sat down with Ivan, wrote it in the basement in Martha's Vineyard for about 3 months. And or a month it was, actually, 3 weeks.
That's enough. He's passed away.
And he's, he's the man, yeah. Yeah.
It is a little overkill at this point, yeah.
But he's still with us, as you'll see.
A long time ago, and he would have liked that.
I did. I almost
love that.
talked
He
him
would have
up.
loved to have heard that.
Bill, did you know they were working on a Ghostbusters film and had plans for you to be in it? Is that something where like, hey, Harold and I are writing a film called Ghostbusters?
Well, I think I knew before Harold knew, because Danny sent me something, and I think there's an allegation that John Belushi was going to be invited, but another guy's passed away, and we don't owe him anything.
Yeah.
But the original script had about 27, the original thing Danny sent me had about 27 pages in it, and it was the funniest thing I'd ever read in my life, and I said, let's go. And then the stories get better from there.
I have more to ask these legends. We'll be right back after this.